All right, welcome to uh, part two of putting together this React newsletter project. We're going to dive into some code for these next few videos. All the code's on GitHub, so you can clone it into your project. I'm going to assume you know how to do that. Do a git clone and then the name of my repo, and um, make sure you have the create React app. Make sure you have Node and node on your machine, and make sure you also do an npm install um, when you finish cloning the project. Excuse me. So I'm gonna assume that you have at least that type of knowledge. Um, and just to reiterate, I'm using Visual Studio Code, so um, when you get everything installed and cloned and stuff like that, just make sure you open up your a terminal. In this case, I'm using an integrated terminal in Visual Studio Code. Open it up to your project that you cloned and just type in npm install, and that's it. It'll install all the packages that are listed inside of package.json in your dependencies. So install all the packages, and once you're done doing that, you then want to run an npm start, and then that'll start up your node server. In this case, mine's going to throw an error because I'm not exporting the app component yet. We'll get to that in a bit. So you won't get this error. You'll actually get the actual project, so the actual form and stuff in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Again, all the code is in my GitHub. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to put all the CSS in here. This is not a CSS tutorial. I might do some later, but this is not a CSS tutorial. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and paste all the CSS in here. I'm going to paste that. I shouldn't respond to anything here. Should it? Nope. All right, so all your CSS is in here. We're going to close that. The next thing we want to do is we want to start working on the main app, the main um, the main component of the whole project. I used create React app, and I didn't change the name of the component. I just left it at app. You can name it to whatever you want. Um, it's fine. So let's go ahead and import React. So we're going to import the React library from React. We are also going to be making this thing a component, so you want to destructure component from React. All right. And the next thing we need to do, we also need to import the CSS. So app.css, and this is the name of it when you download or when you use the starter create React app project. The next thing you want to do is you want to make this thing a class. This is going to be our parent container for the whole app, and it's only going to hold a couple components. Actually, this is such a small project. So um, the first thing you want to do is you want to make it a class. So class app, and we're going to extend the React component. So extends, I'm sorry, it's extends component. All right, get your braces in there. And the next thing we need to do is in React, we have what's called a render function. And basically, the render function basically outputs your HTML. Or in this case, it's JSX. Okay? So we're going to call a function called render. And you want to make sure that you're returning something. So we're going to be returning our JSX. Okay? For right now, we're just going to put um, just one div. And actually, I'm gonna call this one app. All right. And I can just put the text test in here. And we also want to export the app. And this is the reason why my screen was showing the error and yours will not, because I did not export it. And there you go. There's the test, or the text test right there. All right. So next, let's go ahead and put in our the rest of our JSX in here. So I'm gonna have a header, and it's gonna have a class name, and JSX class um, like you would call in regular HTML, it's called class name here. So class name newsletter header, which is defined inside of here in our app.css. So we're gonna close that. All right. And we are also using ant.d, and we're using its responsive capabilities. So we're going to use a row and column component that they have. Just like React Bootstrap and those other packages, it's the same thing. If you've used Bootstrap, Foundation, or whatever else, it's the same concept. So we're going to import a row and column from the ant design package, npm package. Okay, and now what we want is we want a row for this guy. So we're just going to call row. Close our row tag. And I'm also using material design icons, and I imported them up here. So in case you're wondering where those icons are coming from, they're being pulled from Google. So we're just going to, this is straight from the material, or the material UI icons documentation. It's very easy. Called material icons. We want the email icon, and I'm gonna have a simple h1 tag. All right, and the next thing we want to do, actually, let's see how this looks. It's compiling. There we go. There you go. That looks pretty. All right, next, let's go ahead and create a footer. So footer, newsletter, footer. Okay. And I'm just gonna call this React newsletter 2017, whatever. There you go. There you go. That's awesome. That's such an awesome footer. Okay, next, let's go ahead and create a the meat of the whole project, right? So this is going to contain our form, which we're going to create in another video. Um, and actually, this one has a class name of newsletter content section. And this one is also going to have a row. And this one has, we're going to use a column, and this one actually is not the 12 column layout that you see with Bootstrap and other frameworks. This one's using 24. And we also have a p tag with a lead txt class. And I'm gonna copy my super awesome, hilarious text that I made. That's pretty much saying you better subscribe, or bad stuff might happen to you. I don't know. Okay, I believe that is it for that. All right, there you go. Awesome. That's my awesome, awesome, awesome newsletter. All right, so next, the next thing we're going to be adding, at least in I think the next video, I'm going to add the form. I'm going to add the form next. We're going to be passing props into it. Um, so I think we're just going to go ahead and stop this video right here. But this is the shell of our the shell of our project right now. Um, so there you go. I'll see you in the next video.